अस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्दा किञ्जल्कमिश्री तुलसी मकरन्दवायुः अन्तर्गतः स्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्वोः तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्दा किञ्जल्कमिश्र तुलसी मकरन्दवायुः अन्तर्गतः स्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषामपि चित्ततन्वोः तस्या of him Aravindanayanansya of the lotus-eyed Lord, Padaravinda of the with the toes, Mishra mixed, Tulasī the tulasī leaves, Makaranda fragrance, Vayuhu breeze, Antagataha entered within, Swavivarena through their nostrils, Chakara made, Tesham of the Kumaras, Sankshobham agitation for change, Akshara Jusham attached to impersonal Brahman realization, Api even though, Chitta Tanvoho in both body and mind. Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulasī leaves from the toes of the lotus feet of the Personality of Godhead entered the nostrils of those sages, they experienced a change both in body and in mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. Please repeat the translation. When the breeze carrying the aroma of tulasī leaves from the toes of the lotus feet of the Personality of Godhead entered the nostrils of those sages, they experienced a change both in body and in mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It appears from this verse that the four Kumaras were impersonalists or protagonists of the philosophy of monism, becoming one with the Lord. But as soon as they saw the Lord's features, their minds changed. In other words, the impersonalist who feels transcendental pleasure in striving to become one with the Lord is defeated when he sees the beautiful transcendental features of the Lord. Because of the fragrance of his lotus feet carried by the air and mixed with the aroma of tulasī, their minds changed. Instead of becoming one with the Supreme Lord, they thought it was wise to be devotees. Becoming a servitor of the lotus feet of the Lord is better than becoming one with the Lord. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om ajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshuram militam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Himache Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravane Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's a very famous verse quoted by Prabhupada and referred by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The glories of bhakti or the inferiority of other process like Brahman realization and all these things are compared in the perspective here. It says, Tasyaravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda. Tasya of the Supreme Lord. Aravinda Nayanasya, who has lotus eyes. Padaravinda, the lotus feet. Kinjalka Mishri Tulasī Makaranda Vayu. The toes of the lotus feet of the Lord, Kinjalka. Mishra, when it is mixed with. Tulasī Makaranda Vayu, the fragrance of Tulasī, the air which was carrying the lotus feet, the breeze from the lotus feet of the Lord which is mixed with Tulasī. Antargatya Swavivarena Chakara Tesham. Antargataha, when they paid obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord, that air which was carrying the aroma of the lotus feet of the Lord and the breeze which has the Tulasī mixed with it, which was offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, Antargataha, when it entered within them, Swavivarena, to their nostrils, Chakara Tesham, they experienced, which made them, they had experienced something. Tesham, of the Kumaras. Sankshobam, agitation within. It was a change of agitation, which was an experience. What was that experience? Akshara Jusamapi. Even though they were very much attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding, Chitta Tanvoho, the change experience was there within their body and their mind. So Prabhupada writes the translation. When the breeze carrying the aroma of the Tulasī leaves and the saffron, actually Kinjalka is actually saffron, pollen particles. Saffron is like a pollen particles. So, Padaravinda Kinjalka Mishri Tulasī Makaranda Vayuhu. From the lotus feet of the lotus side personality of Godhead, Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda entered through the nostrils, Antagata Swavivarena, into the hearts of those sages, the Kumaras, Tesham. They experienced a change in both body and mind. Chakara Sankshobam Chitta Tanvoho. Even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding, Akshara Jushamapi. The point was, in the purport, Prabhupada was explaining the change. Even the impersonalists, when they saw the form of the Lord, they are defeated in their endeavors of merging into the personality of God. The impersonalist who feel transcendental pleasure in striving to become one with the Lord is defeated when he sees the beautiful transcendental features of the Lord. The personality, the form of the Lord, Bhagavan future is much superior to the impersonal understanding or Brahman realization. Because of the fragrance of the lotus feet carried by the aroma mixed with aroma of Tulasī, their minds changed. Instead of becoming one with the Lord, they thought it is wise to be a devotee. Becoming a servitor of the lotus feet of the Lord is better than becoming one with the Lord, in conclusion. So, devotional service and a devotee's personal service to the Lord is considered higher than merging into the impersonal bodily effulgence of the Lord. So, the same context has been elaborated everywhere across Bhagavatam. And this is confirmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his teachings to various personalities, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also meeting with various people of various philosophies, majorly Mayavadi philosophies. So in Bhagavatam we see when Dhruva Maharaj, when he prayed for Lord Vishnu, so Lord appeared to him And Dhruva Maharaj, when he offered his prayers, one of the verse clearly explains what is the level of impersonal understanding to bhakti. He says, Ya nivritis tanubrutam tava pada padma dhyanad bhavat janakata shravanena vasyat sa brahmani swamahimani apinadamabhut kintvantakashililitat patatam vimanat. He is saying the superiority of bhakti in comparison to impersonal Brahman realization. He said, O my dear Natha, O my dear Lord, Ya nivrittihi, the transcendental bliss, Tava pada padma dhyanad, which is derived from meditating upon the lotus feet of the Lord, Tava pada padma dhyanad, or Va bhavad janakata shravanena, or by hearing about your glories from pure devotees, either meditating on the lotus feet of the Lord or hearing about your glories from the lotus, your pure devotees, is sa brahmani syat, is unlimited, that it is far beyond the stage of Brahmananda. The happiness what we derive from the personality of Godhead is unlimited. It is beyond the capacity of Brahmananda, wherein one thinks himself merged in the impersonal Brahman as one with the Supreme. What is that? Brahmananda is merging into the impersonal aspect of the Lord. Since Brahmananda is also defeated by the transcendental bliss derived from devotional service, apisva mahimani ma'abhut, then what to speak of temporary blissfulness of elevating oneself to heavenly planets, which is ended by the separating sword of time. Kintu antakash lulitat. The happiness compared to Brahmananda to heavenly planet pleasure is insignificant. Although one may be elevated to heavenly planets, he falls down in due course of time. Patatam vimana. It is assured. Anywhere within Abrahma Bhavana local punaravartana archana, we have to fall down. So that is not a permanent place. So the happiness that is compared to bhakti is, if it is unlimited, then the happiness of Brahmananda is a drop. If happiness in Brahmananda is a drop, then what to speak of earthly happiness, which will be not even a nano, or if you say beyond nano, a drop of a water. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he was interacting with, starting with many Mayavadi philosophers. Can you remember how many Mayavadi philosophers Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated? The first personality was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He was the king of Mayavadi philosophy. Prakashananda Saraswati, who had 60,000 disciples. He is sitting in Varanasi, the place of Mayavada. Like that, many more people Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to face. He convinced them about bhakti philosophy, and they all accepted bhakti philosophy and quit Mayavada, you understand. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he explained about the glories of Krishna's form. What is so special in Krishna's form? He says, Aishwarya Madhurya Karunye Swarupa Purnata Bhakta Vassala Atma Paryanta Vadanyata. Krishna's transcendental qualities of Aishwarya, opulence, Madhurya, sweetness, Karunya, of mercy, are Swarupa Purnata, or full and perfect. Purnata means in full and perfect. And Bhakta Vasalya, as far as Krishna's affectionate leaning towards his devotees is concerned, Atma Paryanta Vadanyata, he is so magnanimous, he can give himself his devotees. When Krishna is bound by bhakti, he becomes soul to his devotee. There is one place where Chaitanya Charitamrita says, a pure devotee can sell Krishna anywhere as he likes. Krishna becomes like a commodity. And pure devotee can sell him anywhere and everywhere, because he is giving Krishna to everyone. So he is like, Krishna has become a vastu of his pure devotee. Alaukika rupa rasa saurabhadi guna karo mana kona gune kare akarshana. Krishna has these unique aspects of alaukika, which is beyond, which is not of this loka, alaukika, which is transcendental capacity of rupa, form, Rasa, the mellow. Saurabhyadi, even the bodily fragrance of Krishna is beyond this consideration. The maximum, what smell do we get in this body? Is sweat smell. We don't get any fragrance from our bodies. It is only gandhaki, badbu, what comes out of our body. But Krishna's body, that saurabhya. Naturally, see, it is saying the smell emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord mixed with tulasī and saffron, it is saying. So, lotus feet of the Lord itself is emanating a smell. And it is mixed with tulasī and saffron. Means Krishna's body itself is like a musk deer which emanates smell. Karo mana kona gune kare akarshana. They are differently situated in different transcendental mellows, and Krishna is all attractive. We don't know which one will attract whom, we don't know. Somebody might get attracted by his beauty. Somebody might get attracted by his rasa. Somebody might get attracted to his bodily fragrance. Now, Shanakadera mana harila shaurabhadi gune. One element now Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains which attracted whom. Shaurabhadi, by the fragrance of the bodily, by the bodily of the, from the body of the Lord, attracted Shanakadi Muni. All the 4 Kumaras got attracted by the aroma of the tulasī that had been offered to the Lord. Shukadevera manaharila leela shravane. Shukadev Goswami, one of the topmost impersonalist understanding, Jivan Muktaha, he even got attracted by leela shravane, the pastimes of the Lord. Where Shukadev Goswami himself says about how he got converted, he says, Parinishtopi Nairgunye Uttama Shloka Leelaya Grihita Cheta Rajarushe Akhyanam Yad Aditavan. In the second canto, when he was explaining about himself, how he got transformed from impersonal understanding to speak Bhagavatam, how he got carried away by Bhagavatam, he says, O Rajarushe, O my dear Parikshit Maharaj, Parinishtopi Nairgunye Api. I was situated perfectly in transcendence. Parinishtaha means which is beyond this material world, means in the impersonal understanding, I am in a perfect state. Yet aditavan grihita chetaha, I was attracted by the akyanam, leela akyanam, the pastimes of the personality of Godhead. Uttama shloka leelaya, by the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is described in enlightened verses. So even he is saying, I got attracted by the pastimes of the Lord. It is like a hook which attracts the fish. I got attracted by Leela Shravane, Uttama Shloka Leelaya. So one more quote was there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was quoting. Swasuka nibrata chetas tas vyudanastaya bhavo api achyuta ruchira leela krishna saras tadiyam Vyatanuta kripaya yas tattva deepam puranam tam akila vrijinagnam vyasasunam natosmi. So when Suta Goswami started offering Srimad Bhagavatam, he offered with a prayer. While ending Srimad Bhagavatam, he offers with a prayer in a similar quality. He says, Natah asmi, I offer my respectful obeisances to whom? Vyasasunam, the son of Vyasadeva, Shukadev Goswami, because Tam Akila Vrijinagnam, it is he who defeats all inauspicious things in this universe. Swasuka Nibrata Chetas Api, although in the initial time he was absorbed in the impersonal understanding, in the Brahman realization, and was living in a secluded place, Nibrata, in a secluded place he was staying. Tyad Vyudastanaya Bhavaha, he gave up all the other types of consciousness. And Ajita Ruchira Leela Krishna Saraha, he became attracted by the supreme transcendental pastimes of Ajitaha, Lord Krishna. Then Vyatanuta Kripaya Yah Puranam, and by his merciful, compassionate capacity, he spoke the supreme Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Tattva Deepam, the transcendental torchlight of this absolute truth, and Tadiyam, and which describes the activities of the Lord and his devotees. So, Even Sutta Goswami is confirming that my Guru, who is in the perfectional stage, became attracted by the transcendental and pleasing pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he became carried away, and he came and he enlightened all of us through Srimad Bhagavatam. Then, Shri Anga Rupe Hare Gopikaramana. Lord Krishna attracts the minds of all gopis by his beautiful transcendental bodily features. So, this is third category. Gopis became attracted by the bodily features of the Lord. Rupa Guna Shravane Rukmini Adira Akarshana. The queens headed by Rukmini Devi are attracted to Krishna simply by hearing about his transcendental beauty and qualities. See, Rukmini Devi never saw Lord Krishna. She only heard Krishna's glorification from Narada Muni. And she became, Krishna is my husband, and she fixed up, without Krishna, nobody else. She became so much devoted just by hearing about Krishna from Narada Muni. Next. Vamshi Gite Hare Krishna Lakshmi Adhiramana. Just by hearing the transcendental flute vibration, even Lakshmi Adhira Gana, they became attracted to Krishna. And the wives of Kaliya, they say, what mercy is there on this person, Kaliya, who is so sinful personality? He got the opportunity of the touch of the lotus feet of the Lord, where Lakshmi is hankering by sitting in a vana outside Vrindavana, doing tapasya from time immemorial to enter into Vrindavana. Then you can understand. Even Lakshmi became attracted by the flute. She could not enter into Vrindavana. Kaliya got the opportunity of lotus feet, dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then, Yogya Bhave Jagate Yata Yuvatir Gana. Krishna attracts not only minds of gopis and goddess of fortune, but the minds of all the young girls in all the three worlds as well. Guru Tilya Stri Ganera Vasalye Akarshana Dasya Sakyadi Bhave Purushadi Gana. Shri Radha Govinda ki. Guru Tilya Shri Ganera, those women who are of Raja, who are of the capacity of superiors like mother or our category, are attracted to Krishna, Vatsalye, maternally they all got attracted. Dasya Sakhyadi Bhave Purushadi Gana, all the men of Vrindavana are attracted either as servants or as friends of Lord Krishna or as fathers. Pakshi Murga Vriksha Lata Chetana Achetana, all the living entities who are in Vrindavana, either birds, beasts, creepers, trees or anything. Preme Mattakari Akarshaye Krishna Guna. Even the qualities of Krishna captivate and attract everything that is either living, Chetana, Achetana, either it is non-living. They were all attracted to Krishna's qualities. So there is nobody who is spared from being attracted to Lord Krishna. So this is the perspective Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was elaborating. How different personalities they can get attracted. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was traveling to South India, so many people came to argue with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to prove their points of philosophy. So one such group was followers of Lord Buddha. So when he heard Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is converting and he is converting all the people to Vaishnavism perspective. They are thinking, we are losing our kingdom. So somebody is intruding into our kingdom and taking away all our wealth, which is their followers, people. So they wanted to defend their philosophy and they wanted to prove they are superior. So they came to argue with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Generally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't argue who is not a Vaishnava. But feeling compassionate, he wanted to give them an opportunity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was discussing with these people. It says, Tarkika Mimamsaka Yata Mayavadi Gana Sankhya Patanjala Smriti Purana Agama. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was meeting with all these categories of philosophers who are Tarkika, Mimamsaka, who are logicians, who are followers of Mimamsa, Jaimini, or who are followers of Gautama and Kannada. So most of them are Yata, Mayavadi Gana, all the Shankaracharya followers who have this Mayavadi philosophy. Then Sankhya, Patanjali, Smriti, Purana, Agama, who are respective followers of all these scriptures. They were coming and meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they are trying to argue and establish their points of philosophy. Nija Nija Shastra Udgrahe Sabai Prachanda Sarvamata Dushi Prabhu Kare Khanda Khanda. All of these people of these various scriptures were ready to present the conclusions of their respective scriptures, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke all their opinions into pieces and pieces by his bhakti-based philosophy, which is enriched with Vedas, Vedanta and Brahma Sutra and philosophy of Achintya Bheda Veda Tattva. Sarvatra Stapaye Prabhu Vaishnava Siddhanta. Everywhere, wherever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, he established Vaishnava Siddhanta. Prabhura Siddhanta Keha Napare Kandite. And nobody could defeat him. Nobody could reach to his argumentates at all. Hari Hari Prabhu Mate Karena Pravesha. Ei Mate Vaishnava Prabhu Kaila Dakshina Desha. So being thus defeated by Lord Chaitanya, all philosophers and their followers entered into Bhakti cult. In this way, Lord Chaitanya made entire South India into country of Vaishnavas. Pashanti Aila Yata Panditya Suniya Garvakari Aila Sange Shishya Gana Lana. So all the atheistic people, they wanted to show their Panditya. They came with all their group of followers in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to prove their points. Bauddhacharya Mahapandita Nija Navamate Prabhura Age Budgrahakari Lagile Bholite. So there was one Bauddha Acharya, so who was a leader of a Buddhist cult, who is very expert in the 9 points of Buddhist philosophy. So he came in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he began to speak the conclusions of his philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. Yadyapi asambhashya Bauddha ayukta dekite tatapi bolita Prabhu garva kandaite. Although Buddhists are unfit to discussion and should not be seen by Vaishnavas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to them just to decrease their false pride. Tarka pradana Bauddha Shastra Navamate Tarkai Kandila Prabhu Napare Stapite. So scriptures of Bauddha philosophy are based upon argument and logic, and they contain 9 chief principles. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu defeated the Buddhists in their arguments and they could not establish their cult at all. So what are these 9 principles of Buddhist philosophy? The creation is eternal and there is no need to accept a creator. You are created, but you don't bother for your father. There is no father. This is their philosophy. Creation is there, no creator. First point. This cosmic manifestation is false. I am the truth. There is no repetition of birth and death. Death, that's it, done. No one more life. Lord Buddha is the only source of understanding the truth. Partially correct. Lord Vishnu, he is Lord Buddha. The principles of nirvana or annihilation is the ultimate goal. If we are having a pain, cut off that hand so that there will be no more pain. This is nirvana philosophy. The philosophy of Buddha is the only philosophical path. The Vedas are compiled by human beings. Pious activities showing mercy to others and so on are advised. See, all these philosophy are for people who are in the animalistic platform to come to at least rise above this animalistic platform. But they are not the permanent philosophy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu smashed all these arguments where Buddhist philosophers could not even present any argument at all, to counter argument at all. Bauddhacharya Navaprashna Sabha Uthaila Druda Yukti Tarke Prabhu Khanda Khanda Kaila. The teacher of Buddhist cult set forth these 9 principles, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke them to pieces with his strong logic. Darshanika Pandita Sabai Paila Parajaya Loka Hasya Kare Bauddha Paila Lajjabaya. So because their philosophy was defeated and people were laughing at them, a scholar came and he got defeated in these arguments. When people started laughing, they all felt ashamed and they ran away from that place. Prabhu ke Vaishnava jani Bauddha gare gela sakala buddhi Bauddha mili tabe kumantrana kaila. So they are thinking that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Vaishnava. When they went home, they were thinking all the Buddhists assembled and they wanted to plan a plot. Kutantra means something which is bad, to cheat or to harm. Apavitra anna eka talite bhariya, a contaminated food, means which is contains either onion, garlic, or non-vegetarian, whatever it is. Prabhu aage nila Mahaprasada boliya. They brought this plate which is covered with a cloth and kept in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, this is Mahaprasada. Hena kale Mahakaya eka pakshi aila. At that time, one huge bird came there. Mahapakshi, the huge bird. Tonte kari anna saha tali lana gela. It picked with his beak the plate. Along with that anna, it started lifting up into the air. Bauddha ganera upare anna pade amedya hoya. All that remnants of that food which was there fell on that Bauddha people itself and they all became impure. Bauddhacharya mathaya thali padila bhajiya. And that when that plate which is of heavy weight was put onto that Bauddhacharya head itself. Teracha padila tali mata kati gela. Because that plate fell down in an angle from the height, it cut his head in a severely and he became injured and he fell unconscious there with blood bleeding everywhere. She's sharp, even if this comes and hits, what will happen if it falls from some 100 feet or 200 feet? Our head will break. That heavy plate fell onto the leader because he had planned. Kutarka plan kiya, so plate gir gaya. Murshita hona asyarya bhumite padila. He became unconscious and fell onto the ground. Ha ha kara kari kande saha shishyagana. All the shishyas were crying. Our acharya fell down, and they were all crying. Sabe asi Prabhu pade laila sharana. They all came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet and took shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tumita Ishvara Sakshat Kshama Aparada. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please forgive our offense. Jiyayo Amara Guru Karaha Prasada. Be merciful. Make our Guru come back to life. Prabhu kahe. Sabha kaha Krishna Krishna Hari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all of you chant Krishna Krishna Hari. Guru karne kaha Krishna Nama Uchya Kari. All of you go near the Guru and chant loudly Krishna Nama. Tomara sabha Guru tabe paila chetana, sabha Bauddha muli kare Krishna Sankirtana. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, as soon as you go and chant Krishna's holy name at the ear of your Guru, he will awaken. And they all went to the Guru's ear and they started making loud Sankirtana of Krishna holy name. Guru karne kahe sabe Krishna Rama Hari, Chetana Pana Acharya bole Hari Hari. As soon as these people chanted Krishna Rama Hari at the Guru's ear, then Guru became unconscious. Guru came to consciousness and he said, Hari Hari. Krishna boli Acharya Prabhura Karena Vinaya Dekiya Sakala Loka Haila Vishmaya. He came forward and with submissive obedience he came and he was chanting holy name of Krishna in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All the people were astonished. Ei rupe kautika kari sachira nandana antardana kailakeha napaya darshana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes were something like this. So he used to perform some unique pastimes, and when people were thinking what a magic or what a transformation Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had done, he vanished from that place. Now in this context, if you see, now who is Guru, who is Sishya now? The disciples are the Guru and the Guru is the Shishya now. Because Guru chants the holy name into the ear. What is initiation? Guru chants the holy name into the ear. Now all the Shishyas, they accepted their Guru to accept the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. See the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, one more personality who was very expert in this philosophy of Mayavada, who became devotee, was Bilvamangal Thakur. Just one instruction, one line of that prostitute. If you had so much attachment for him, if you had the same attachment for the Supreme Lord Krishna, where you would have been? Just what one line transformed him. He started walking towards Vrindavan. So in his experience, his words, it says, Advaita Vidipather Upasyaha Swananda Simhasana Labda Dikshaha Shatena Kenapi Vayam Hatena Dasi Kruta Gopa Vadu Vitena. He says, Advaita Vidhi Patikair Upasyaha. Although he was worshipped by those who are on the path of monism, Advaita Pati means on the path of monism, Patikir Upasyaha. I was worshipped by all the people who are practicing monism. I am like a leader of the monist philosophy. And Swananda Simhasana Labda Dikshaha, being initiated into this impersonal Brahman realization, I am like sitting on the throne of the impersonal realization. Swananda Simhasana. But Vayam Hatena Dasi Kritaha. I have been dragged from that Simhasana and made into become a servant. I am like an emperor, but I was dragged to become a servant. By whom? Shatena Kenapi. By one boy, cowhead boy. Somehow or other, he pulled me down. Who is that personality? One cunning boy who is Gopavadu Vitena, who is always joking with gopis. And who will always play jokes with gopis? Is Lord Krishna. That cunning boy, where I was sitting on the throne of an impersonal Brahman realization, he pulled me down and made me his maid servant. So his realization, he says like this. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what he says? Na vayam kavayo na tarkika na cha vedanta nitanta paraga nirvika nivarakaha param kapata. So he says, na vayam kavayaha, we are not poets. Na tarkikaha, not paragaha, nor scholars fully conversant in Vedanta. Na param, or skilled debaters. We are kapata abira kishora kinkara. Kapata, one who is the servants of the trickster cowhead. Impersonal realization, he is saying, I am Parivadatu Jano Yata Rasamadira Madati Mattaha Bhuvi Vilutama Nata. If the criticizers condemn us, let them do. We will not worry about their disapproving comments because we are completely intoxicated from drinking the wine of love for Hari. And in ecstasy, we roll about on the ground, dance, and sometimes even swoon in prema. Like how an intoxicant plays around in the ground, rolls around in the ground, and he goes in a crazy world. We are intoxicated that love for Hari. And we roll around, we dance around, we chant around. See a transformation in a personality where he was in the absolute understanding. He was the leader of Mayavadi scholars and he is the best personality of his time. But he was attracted by the philosophy of Bhakti cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he became a Parama Vaishnava. So such is the grace. Now Kumaras, what they were experiencing is also of that same capacity. So the touch.
శ్రీకృష్ణుణ్ణి చేరుకోవడానికి కృష్ణ భక్తిని అందరికీ అందించటానికి బృందావనం వైపు ఉరకలేస్తున్న యమునోత్రి. విష్ణుపాదమే తన పుట్టినిల్లుగా కైలాసం చేరుకోవడానికి పరుగులు తీస్తున్న గంగోత్రి. కురుక్షేత్ర ఘోరహత్యా పాపం శంకరుణ్ణి శాంతపరచడం లక్ష్యంగా పాండవులు నిర్మించిన కేదార్నాథ్. సమస్త సాధు పుంగవులకు, ఋషులకు, ఆధ్యాత్మిక సాధనకు స్ఫూర్తినిచ్చే నరనారాయణులను నడయాడిన ప్రదేశం బద్రీనాథ్.
హరే కృష్ణ గోల్డెన్ టెంపుల్ వారి మరో అపురూప కానుక హరే కృష్ణ వాణి ఆధ్యాత్మిక మాసపత్రిక. ఇప్పుడు మొబైల్ యాప్ ద్వారా కూడా సులభంగా పత్రికలు చదువుకునే సౌకర్యం, వార్షిక సభ్యత్వం, భగవద్గీత, భాగవత ప్రవచనాలు, స్ఫూర్తి సందేశాలు ఇంకా మరెన్నో సదుపాయాలతో హరే కృష్ణవాణి మొబైల్ యాప్ నేడే డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోండి. మరిన్ని వివరాల కోసం కాల్ చేయండి